A couple months ago, you made a video titled How to Make a Killer YouTube Intro that got over 600,000 views. How did that come about? What's the backstory here?
I like to work off of sprints. So I was like, okay, I'm going to set this 90-day monetization challenge, doing whatever it takes to get my channel monetized. And I tried lots of different things during that time frame. Another kind of event that was coming up was a conference called Vid Summit, which is like a large event for creators.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going for the first time. And going in, I remember I was like 2 weeks away from the event. And I was thinking, man, I'm spending a lot of money to go. And I'm worried that I'm going to show up and no one's going to want to talk to me because I'm too small of a creator. At that point, I had maybe 700 some. And I was working really, really hard on my next video. And I was thinking, what would make me happy going, like, what would make me feel confident going into Vid Summit? I was like, okay, if I hit 10,000 subscribers going into Vid Summit, I would feel confident. I would feel confident like approaching people. And I was talking to another friend of mine and he said, well, I mean, that's technically possible, but your next video has to be a banger. And I said, it will. And that was the intro video. That is now my most viewed video ever. And on the first day of Vid Summit, I walked in with just over 11,000 subscribers. So
wow,
it worked.
That's amazing. Where did this belief come from that this video will be an absolute banger?
That video was different from some of my previous videos and similar in a certain way for a couple of reasons. One, it was a little bit more validated in a certain way. When I say validated, what I mean is that there is some sort of evidence that this sort of thing has worked in the past. For me, I had an older video of mine called like How Mr. Beast Solved YouTube. And in the retention graph on that video, the one where I talked about intros or how Mr. Beast solved intros had the highest retention. So I thought, okay, it seems like more people are interested in particularly this part of the video. That's an opportunity here. What if I kind of take that and blow it into a full video and go into it more in depth? And then also I wanted to try a different style of video as well. There's this amazing video by a creator called John Dorman, and his title is How to Create a Killer Video to Blow Up Your Channel. There is a validated title structure here. Okay, can I take the topic that I think could do very well, that I have some sort of evidence that this topic will do well, and this title structure and perhaps like tone from a different video in the past that has done well, and merge them together. And the result was my How to Make a Killer intro video that ended up doing quite well.
And how did that feel after you hit publish and the views came in?
I mean, it felt so validating. In one hand, I was like, I was really hoping for it to happen, and then it did, and I was like, yes, okay, I'm doing something right. I'm on the right track here. I'm not completely delusional. Like, I really do have what it takes to make a career off of YouTube, and I have proof. So the views were great, the getting monetized was great, but the best part to me was going to Vid Summit, and at that conference, people walked up to me and said, hey, are you Aprilyn Alter? I saw your intro video. I loved it. And being able to have conversations with people who had watched my video and really enjoyed it or found it useful. And the broad range there, right? Everyone from someone who had just started a channel to people with hundreds of thousands of subscribers.
What was your biggest learning from this one video?
I had a lot of different question marks in my head before that video. And a lot of those questions were answered with that video in terms of like, who exactly is my audience? What value can I provide? What is my like differentiation here in this space? A lot of things that I was ruminating about got clarified for me. And it really just served as like the jumping off point for the rest of the channel.
How did this influence what came after that?
There can be a lot of pressure on those videos, as you might imagine.
The dreaded second album.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, man, I had this one. People really loved it. What do I do for my next one? The cool thing about the intro video is that it's a repeatable format for me. So how to make a killer YouTube intro to blow up your channel or for the 2024 algorithm. Hey, how to make a killer thumbnail, how to make a killer insert video element here. And I can get very deep into those particular topics. And so I chose thumbnails because I was between titles and thumbnails. And at Vid Summit, I polled people and they said they want to hear about thumbnails. I'm like, okay, well, let's go with thumbnails. Unfortunately, that video took me 3 months to make. So I had a lot of pressure riding on it, but I am quite proud with the outcome.
If you want more of this, our conversations are available as full audio podcasts, and in the Orbit newsletter, you get even more inspiring insights from all kinds of creators. But now it's time to create.